remembering 9/11, the day terror hit home in 2001. From Freedom Tower in New York City to the Pentagon in Washington to a small field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Good evening. It's September 11th. I'm James Torres.
And I'm Jenna Sands. Thanks for joining us. A man in Clay County is accused of helping to plot a rogue terror attack for this 9/11 anniversary. The FBI says 20-year-old Joshua Ryan Goldberg was posing online as a Lebanese ISIS convert living in Australia and giving advice for a pressure cooker bomb to attack a weekend memorial in Kansas City, Missouri. The social media trails linked to his family's home in Orange Park also boasted of encouraging the attack on Muhammad Cartoon Contest in Garland, Texas in May. The criminal complaint says the FBI used informants to engage the person online as experts traced the computer trail. And in August, the FBI began surveillance of the Goldbergs' home to confirm time when Josh was home alone and the suspicious aliases were being used online.
And in memory of September 11th, one Gainesville organization encouraged residents to shine some positive light into the lives of others.
Gainesville's annual Good Deed Mitzvah Marathon took place today, where organizers wanted people to be inspired by September 11th rather than discouraged. WFT's Renee Beninati joins us in the newsroom. Renee, what did you see at the marathon?
Well, today I went to the marathon, which took place in the Turlington Plaza at the University of Florida, and their turnout was impressive. Hundreds of people came by and wrote down good deeds they plan to do in memory of September 11th. The Lubavitch Shabbat Jewish Center at UF held this event that presented students and the community with the opportunity to do a good deed in memory of the victims of 9/11. Participants were encouraged to write their good deeds on small pieces of paper, which were then tacked to a mini wooden copy of the Twin Towers. By the end of the day, hundreds of good deeds filled the board, something the center hoped to accomplish. Organizers also hope to inspire the community to help and have a positive effect on others, something one of the center's rabbis says reflects an important lesson taught in the Jewish religion.
When you have a dark situation, a situation of darkness, such as the terrorist attacks of 9/11, the best way to dispel that darkness is with light. And we know that even a very small amount of light can dispel a great deal of darkness.
The participants came up with a variety of good deeds, from making sure to call their grandparents today to donating food to homeless people. In particular, one UF student vowed to donate $100 to the American Red Cross Foundation in memory of the victims.
I mean, before seeing the board and before seeing everyone uniting to do it, I didn't really think of what I could do, but after being here, it kind of made me I should do something too. Before I was
The organizers of the event hope to have at least 911 people pledge to do good deeds by the end of the day. When I attended the event, it definitely seemed like they were well on their way to doing that. Reporting from the newsroom, Renee Beninati, WUFT News.
Thanks, Ashton. Well, this just in from GPD. We just got some information from a shooting earlier this week. They're asking to identify a shooter that, again, happened earlier this week. If you have any information, feel free to give them a call or give them any information that you may have to Gainesville Police Department. Again, this is something that just came into us new this evening, and information should be tossed over to the Gainesville Police Department.
A much drier and nice day today here in North Central Florida.
That's right, and Rebecca Kopelman is in the Weather Center right now with more. Rebecca.
Well, we had one more day that we enjoyed the dry weather here in North Florida. The past 2 days have been dry. We got a break once again today. Storm track radar mostly clear, and there are just a few cells out there. There's one shower developing near I-10. That's where most of the activity is going to be for the rest of tonight. Right now over the University of Florida's campus, looking beautiful as it has all day. That high temperature still 91 degrees. And we've had that humidity as well. The heat index at the Gainesville Regional Airport is 96 degrees. It's feeling like 100 in Ocala, 104 even baking in Orlando, 99 St. Augustine. But the heat will start to fade away. Rain chances stay low through the night. Temperatures will be falling 86 by 6 o'clock, into the 70s by 10 o'clock, and by the morning hours will be in the low 70s. Nothing out of the ordinary by morning. What is out of the ordinary is that I'm tracking the first fall front of the season coming a little bit early, a little bit earlier in the month than it usually does. That does mean that we have the increased chance for some rainfall tomorrow. I'll track that all for you coming up later on in the show. Back to you.
And today, there's an outreach in Gainesville, including taking care of veterans. Ashlyn Reese was there and joins us now in the studio.
Well, guys, it's become an annual tradition at the MLK Center. Today, I was able to speak with many Homeland veterans who came to get a bite to eat, take home some supplies, and to get info on resources and jobs that they may be able to get in the future. This is a team effort between local groups and agencies. The Health Insurance Marketplace, the County Department of Community Support Services, and the St. Francis House were among those taking part. They put together pamphlets and goods to help local veterans who are in need. Not only does America come together in remembrance today, but in service as well. Alachua County Veterans Services held its annual Homeless Veterans Standdown and Community Resource Fair. The event provides resources and goods for veterans in need.
Well, I have a bag here, and I have lotion, toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant, socks, and all kind of other different things. It's so wonderful.
Edward Johnson says he wouldn't have access to essential goods without this event. He says he has a hard time paying for anything more than his rent. Today, inside, they have served over 150 veterans with state, local, and community services provided for those that have provided for our country. Coordinators say there were fewer veterans today than in previous years, and that's not a bad thing.
I think we're doing our job. The people have received the services they need, and we've helped them get their feet under them.
Those who work the event hope that veterans do not have to return, although sometimes that is the case.
It helps us to find housing and food and resources that we don't really know, being homeless.
3 years ago, social workers helped Diane James get into an apartment. She was at the resource fair today to search for scholarships to help her become a teacher. On 9/11, a day to remember America's fallen, this event honors those who have helped America stand. Ashlyn Reese, WUFT News. Between the tag team of VA services and local agencies, federal stats have shown progress in helping homeless veterans in recent years. A federal head count found 30% fewer homeless vets in 2014 compared to 2010.
Thanks, Ashlyn. Well, good news for Florida fans. Your stadium seat will be a bit sturdier this football weekend. Broken seat brackets were fixed today in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. The UAA teamed up with the College of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering to replace seat parts that were almost 25 years old. The engineering college has installed their newly made parts to the unusable seats just in for the game day. The team has been working on this $20,000 solution since spring. The UAA now has extra parts for future breakdowns. For more on this story, visit WUFT.org.
Well, a road project in Gainesville turned into an extended hassle for workers, commuters, and neighborhood residents, but 16th Avenue is now looking new and improved.
The deadline had to stretch to 571 days, a little over a year, but the project is nearly complete. WUFT's Crystal Bailey joins us from the newsroom with the story behind the delays. Crystal?
Back in 2013, the hope was to finish renovating a 4-mile stretch by this February. Then came a series of challenges. During the worst of it, retaining walls were torn up, some medians were removed, and a two-way traffic had to share one side of the road. There's no reason to avoid 16th Avenue now, and you'll soon notice the changes.
From potholes and cracks to freshly paved lanes, Northwest 16th Avenue is basically brand new again. Alachua County signed a contract with Anderson Columbia Company back in December of 2013, and residents in the area have complained about the length of time of the project. When temperatures were too cold in the winter, asphalt could not be laid, and during the rainy season, workers could not continue. According to Alachua County Public Works, weather extremes weren't the only hurdles.
We had a couple cross drains that collapsed while we were doing work. We found structures that were underground that we didn't know was there. In some areas we did find some soils that were unsuitable. We had a signal knocked down by a private crash that we had to rebuild.
Now that construction is almost complete, the bike lane has been replaced by a wider sidewalk and something called a sharrow, meaning that the bicyclists have the right to use the entire lane. One resident says this could become inconvenient.
Bikes personally annoy me, but with it being a 2-lane road, you can just get as long as they stay in the one lane, you can get in the other lane and pass them, as long as there's not someone driving in the other lane like an idiot.
Finishing touches are underway on the west end of the 4-mile stretch near Buchholz High School. The $8 million project should wrap up by the end of the month.
16th Avenue was a big project for local government, which has a long list of road improvement needs. Southwest 62nd is a rising priority for Alachua County, while the city of Gainesville will soon be working on a key stretch of 8th Avenue. Reporting from the newsroom, Crystal Bailey, WUFT News.
All right, Crystal, thank you. Well, WUFT News First at 5 is just getting started. Coming up in international news, Hungary is leaning toward a state of crisis. We'll tell you what kind of migration problems the country is facing.
And plus, some Hollywood stars have already been called winners. Those stories and more coming up after the break.
And I'm tracking the approach of the first fall front of the season, but that means increased rain chances for tomorrow. I'll let you know why it's not all bad news for Gator fans coming up after the break. Stay with us.